consider it for broadcast. We can't make any promises, but we want to amplify progressive perspectives that are community-focused and solution-oriented. So, go to KBLA1580.com right now to download all the information you need about our guest editorials. At KBLA Talk 1580, we've got your black.
First things first.
Things first, it's the DU General, Money B. I'ma put you up on the schedule, 6 to 9, 8 weekdays, not 2 and 7. Let's go. We got a lot to talk about, so much to pedal through. Unapologetically progressive. Tune to KBLA 1580 to get the mess. We're your ancestors' favorite radio station. First black on talk radio, left side of the nation. Me and Dominique DiPrima go way back. Smiley making sure the station stays black. Discussing all the issues in our community. We're hosted black and brown and others find unity. So let's talk about it. Maybe we can improve it. Digital underground, always down with the move. So we tune in. The first things first with the queen of Black Talk Radio, Dominique DiPrima. Go sis. First things first.
KBLA Talk 1580. Good morning. Good morning and God bless. I'm Dominique DiPrima of the show. Hope you know it's first things first. And my very first thing today and every day is giving thanks to God, giving praises to the Most High and asking for blessings, asking for the blessings of the ancestors and the elders too. And let's go. Okay, so we got a lot to talk about as always. We got a lot to do. And it's a great day around here for me. So hopefully that means it's a great day around here for you. So what do I mean by that? Well, it's a Wealth Building Wednesday. So we'll meet a Black-owned, BIPOC-owned, or small business, a woman-owned business, socially innovative. That's what we put in that space, as well as local. And by socially innovative, we mean businesses that have a mission, a community mission, a social impact on top of the desire to make money. And sometimes we show up with resources for businesses. We do that every Wednesday, top the second hour. And you know how our show goes. Hour 1, we look local. Hour 2, we go national, international, and beyond. In the third hour, we do a deep dive on a hot topic or a person or topic of interest. So today, hour 1 is me and you and Miles. We might have to press Miles into service over there. And then no days off, okay? And we're going to be having Fatima Iqbal Zubair in here, hour 2, to talk national issues with us. She's the chair of the California Progressive Caucus and an environmental activist, among other things. Always great to hear her perspective. Hour 3, rapper Jay French will be here. You guys love to argue with him on my Instagram or argue with me. So whether you're, loving what he's saying and one of the many people telling me I'm an idiot, or whether you're loving what I'm saying, one of the people telling him he's an idiot, or maybe you're new and you just want to vibe on the music, it's going to be a lively conversation. Always looking forward to that. So busy day. And you know how it is. You're invited in. You're invited in on YouTube, youtube.com, KBLA 1580. That's where we are. That's where we stream. That's where you could see me and Miles. And you can talk in the comments. It's a whole conversation because not everybody wants to talk live on the air. If you do, though, 800-920-1580, 800-920-1580 is the number. And you're always welcome in. Some people think that when I have a guest in here, that means you're not allowed to call, but that's not true because especially when I have guests in my 6 and 7 o'clock hour, they're just here to help me unpack and understand the issues, sometimes someone fun to argue with, particularly on a talking point Tuesday. Wait a minute, Miles, it's Tuesday, right? Not Wednesday. I'm tripping.
Yes, it is Tuesday.
Oh my gosh. I think I want it to be Friday.
Look, it's not crazy how far Monday and Friday are from each other?
Yeah. That's all bad. Okay, sorry about that. That's tomorrow. But Jay French will be here, and Fatima will be here. So I had that part right. And that'll be fun because Fatima can break down some talking points. But what made me think about that? Well, I was thinking about full moon in Aquarius. It's coming up on Saturday. Sahara was talking about that yesterday. And whether you believe in astrology or not, we can tell that people's inner werewolves are already coming out by these club craziness. Last night there was a shooting at an unauthorized, I call it an unauthorized club in downtown LA. And it's weird because on the one hand, in context of talking points, on the one hand, our violence in the city of Los Angeles is down to levels we haven't seen since the 1960s, right? The lowest homicide levels. On the other hand, it looks like people are just kind of losing their minds in a way. And I remember warehouse parties we used to go to, in the early days of hip hop, Miles. It would be breakdancing, rapping. This is when rap culture wasn't dominant. Now rap culture is part of the dominant culture. It's worldwide, it's commercial, it's a multi-billion-dollar industry that has invaded fashion and music and art and everything. I mean, even politics, everywhere. But back then, we weren't in the mainstream, so we had to go to the warehouses and have parties. And those warehouse parties would be fun. People would have their linoleum or their concrete. They'd be breakdancing. People would be rapping. You never knew what well-known artists might pop up and perform. The fashion was on point. So when I think of underground clubs, that's what I think of. Apparently, there's a festival that happened in Inglewood, and there was a bunch of after parties, and so there's that. And then the LA Times is reporting that last night's incident, was a celebration of a hood day, which my understanding usually that'll take place in a park. But I don't know. I'm not an expert. Why are you legit or illegit shooting up a club? And so the talking points, maybe Trump will bring back in the National Guard and the Marines to patrol our warehouse clubs or our legit clubs. Either way it go, it's not good because it feeds the narrative, just like those smash and grabs. It feeds the narrative that, thank you, Miles. It feeds the narrative that LA is out of control, and LA is not out of control. We got a bunch of empty warehouses, though. I know that. And nature loves a vacuum, so here it's going to fill it up with something. I've got an idea what we could do with those places. If you don't want them to be late night parties, I'll tell you about that when we come forward and get my voice together here. KBLA Talk 1580.
She's reclaiming her time on KBLA Talk 1580. More First Things First with Dominique DiPrima when we come forward.
Good morning, Doctor.
Doctor?
Hi, Doctor.
Doctor?
Dr. Jackson's practice is growing.
What do you mean we're still short-staffed?
He needs a good patient doctor.
How do we not have enough doctors to doctor all these patients?
And he doesn't have the patience to sift through hundreds of resumes.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. When you sponsor a job on Indeed, it's easier for talented candidates to find it, which makes it easier for you to hire them. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Oh, could this vintage store be any cuter?
Right? And the best part? They accept Discover.
Accept Discover? In a little place like this? I don't think so, Jennifer.
Oh, yeah, huh? Discover's accepted where I like to shop. Come on, baby, get with the times.
Right, so we shouldn't get the parachute pants?
These are making a comeback. I think.
Discover is accepted at 99% of places that take credit cards nationwide. Based on the February 2025 Nielsen report.
We've got a lot to talk about.
Hi, I'm Zoe Williams, a.k.a. the Voice of Reason, encouraging you to join me weekdays from 7 to 9 p.m. for the world's most intriguing relationship radio roundtable. Every night, I facilitate and encourage our loyal listeners to participate in the most engaging relationship discussions you'll hear anywhere. So make it a point to rendezvous with me, Zoe Williams, the Voice of Reason, Monday through Friday, 7 to 9 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Trust me, your relationships will never be the same. The VOR is on fire tonight.
Unapologetically progressive. KBLA Talk 1580. We've got your black.
This is the story of the one. As a safety manager at a manufacturing plant, he does everything he can to keep his coworkers safe. From finding ways to reduce risks to keeping safety supplies in stock. And for that, he relies on Grainger. Grainger offers a broad range of quality products and next-day delivery, so he can always play it safe. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
An official message from Medicare.
I turned 65 this year. I knew it was time to figure out Medicare, and I had questions, like when to enroll and how to enroll. So I went straight to the official source, Medicare.gov, to get the facts about Medicare. I found answers to all my questions, and I'm ready to get started. And so can you. Just go to Medicare.gov to get the real facts about Medicare.
Paid for by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
Your ancestors' favorite radio station, and your favorite morning show host. Let's get back to Dominique DiPrima right now.
Okay, so I'm not sick. I don't know what it is. Maybe dust in here or something. I'm fine. Okay, don't start tripping. But look, what is going on in these streets? I don't know, because I don't get out too much. When I do get out, you see me, it's usually a concert or something. Yeah, I already got my tickets to go see Uncle Charlie and Babyface coming up. And I loved the concert with Sir. That was incredible. Mad that I missed Omar. I didn't know about the show. I would have gone. But I will admit I was not up on his music as I should be, because I just wasn't, but I am now. And man, okay. Anyway, what is going on? So there's a shooting, and I don't, it's a talking point Tuesday. I don't want to go too far overboard with it, but the thing about it is, like I said, it's important to keep in mind that our violence in the city of Los Angeles, in the Southern California region, is down. It is down. And that's the important thing to remember, even as we see, what was that dude running into someone on the sidewalk at a club in Hollywood? Fiery crash. There's a wrong way crash this morning, in fact, in Santa Ana, where 2 people were killed and 5 people in the hospital. It's just lifing, but I do think that for me, it reminds me that we're still, I don't think we've really recovered all the way from the pandemic in terms of folks' mental health. And I do feel like when things get real shady in Washington or with our electeds and the sort of mainstream political, air quotes, mainstream political scene, we do go underground. That's what people do. They go underground, but that's that can be perilous. I don't know why it has to be that way. You're going to have an underground club, at least have some security. And they arrested this guy, Efrain Villalobos, the guy that shot the guy in Hollywood. Remember, the man got kicked out of a club. Then he went out and rammed his car into all these people, injuring 30 people. This was in Hollywood on the east side. And then somebody shot the guy that ran into the people with his car. I never thought that guy would get turned in because I figured people, would protect him. But no, he got turned in. He was arrested. And we'll see what happened. But apparently this other dude was having a rage attack and after getting kicked out of the club. And apparently he had a history of doing this in other spots. 36 people ended up getting injured from that guy's rage, and somebody shot him. Now the guy that shot him is also in custody. And I hate to say it, but I do think that when people get under pressure, more and more pressure, whether it's because of inflation or ICE raids or bad governance or all of the above, it makes people act up. And then that full moon energy doesn't help. So if you're going to be out this weekend, take it slow. And if you walk in somewhere and it don't feel right, turn your butt around and walk the heck back on out. Don't be saying, something told me I shouldn't have. Something told me. I had a feeling. I hate when I do that. I had a feeling. And I think you're right, Paul. Paul's in the conversation on YouTube, but people do pretend that the impact of COVID is over. In fact, those stats that I was talking about yesterday with Lamika, that according to the LAUSD, students have bounced back, is precisely the type of stuff that allows people to pretend that we've bounced back. But the fact is we haven't. People still need help. And a lot of the stuff we said we were going to do, i.e., special admissions programs for kids in colleges, extras counseling for young people, and apparently old people need it too, has not happened. A lot of that just turned out to be lip service. And why do I know that? Because I'm a mama whose kid was had their whole high school ruined by the pandemic and then had to apply for college in this environment and go to college. And not only that, I have loved ones, including relatives, who teach college. And they're saying the young people are not prepared, that there was a precipitous drop-off after COVID, during COVID, in preparedness, writing skills, reading skills, coping mechanisms, how to be a person. That's part of what we learn, like in high school, how to be a person, how to talk to other people, how to socially, emotionally function. And I'm not sure that the U.S. is the poster person for social emotional intelligence anyway. And now we've had a generation who, actually a couple generations who are touched by developmental missing pieces. You didn't do 4 years of socializing in high school, getting rejected, going to proms. I was asking my kid, do you think, because I have this theory that we should have proms in every college. We should have proms for the high school kids who had their normal social experience robbed from them by COVID. And he thinks it's a terrible idea. He doesn't want to go to prom. But I bet you there's a lot of young people that would embrace that. Whatever it is, that needs to happen to reclaim our social emotional balance and skill set, whatever that is. So the gerrymandering war is on. And California is an epicenter for some, I don't want to say for some reason. I mean, clearly we are big enough to be a whole country. We're the fourth largest economy in the world. And we have a lot of congressional seats. We don't have as much clout as we should. I mean, if senators were proportionately allocated to states, then the U.S. would be blue. Because California would have way more clout, New York would have way more clout. But that's not how our system is. And until we get our system to be fair, which means statehood for D.C., which means statehood for Puerto Rico if they want it, if not, then independence, which means getting rid of the Electoral College, which means proportional representation in Congress, meaning the number of senators you have is reflective of the number of humans that live in the state that they represent. Montana, which has 5 people, has the same number of senators as California, which has all the people. And that is not true democracy, because it is not representation in proportion to the number of voters. One man, one woman, one vote, right? That's what direct democracy is. And in a multiracial democracy, that means one man, one woman, one vote, no voter suppression. So clearly we're not there yet. I heard Dr. Cornel West saying that we are striving to be a democracy. We haven't really made it there yet. We have the template, we have the outline, we have the frame, he said, but we've never really made it all the way there. And I think that's right. When you talk about fairness, one man, one woman, one other, one vote, and proportional representation, we're just not there yet. We have to fix the Senate, get rid of the Electoral College, and that's just the beginning, but that would help a lot. Term limits on the Supreme Court, that would help a lot. But in any case, Texas is moving forward with their attempt to give Republicans a permanent majority in the House of Representatives. And so our governor, Gavin Newsom, said that he's going to move forward with his own plan to add more Democratic seats in California. And like I said, some people don't like that because it can trigger this escalation of gerrymandering. But what is the alternative? Sit here and let Republicans take control of the House forever when they don't represent the majority of the will of the people? Yeah, you could say, and you may believe, that the president won the popular vote. That's what the polls say. I would like to see proof that there was no cheating because of some irregularities that I observed. But even if we accept that premise, it's not true when you look at Congress, because you have to look at the way those districts are cut up to disenfranchise progressives, Democrats, poor people, and black people, most especially black people, always black people. So, it's on. It is what it is. The governor says he's going to put a redistricting plan in front of us, the voters, in November. And he's saying they're going to add a trigger to it, meaning that we only vote on this redistricting plan if Texas goes ahead with their terrible plan. But it looks like they're going ahead with their terrible, very bad plan, because they're talking about arresting the members of Congress, the Democrats, who have left Texas in order to stop this redistricting. And I'm sorry, I'm not mad at this. I am not mad at this. Somebody has to do something consequential. I'm happy to hear Dems speak up, and progressive, independent, whatever, speak up, but speaking up is not enough. We need to take action. We need to press our advantages. California is one of our advantages. Even though it's politically bipolar, we got a whole bunch of people, and en masse, it leans blue. So that means if you redistrict, we redistrict. And just like in Texas, Republicans already have the lion's share of the seats there. They would only gain 5. In California, there's only 9 Republican seats anyway. There are Dems hold 43 out of the state's congressional seats. So the most we could move would be 9, and I don't know, that would be pretty extreme, because it would mean there would be not one single Republican seat left. I'm not quite sure how you would draw those lines in places like Fresno. But what they're saying is that we could definitely counteract what's happening in Texas. The only thing is, it's going to make some races harder for some Democrats that are already sitting in pretty safe seats. I guess we'll find out toward the end of the month when lawmakers go back to work in Sacramento. But it sounds like they're moving forward. It would be a 30 days you have to get that thing drawn, but it sounds like the governor is determined to do so. Love to hear your thoughts. 800-920-1580. I'm Dominique DiPrima, and you're listening to First Things First on KBLA Talk 1580.
More of First Things First with Dominique DiPrima when we come forward.
I'm Bree Wood with BIN News Now. Whooping cough cases are rising as kids head back to school. Dr. Dave Weber of the University of North Carolina Medical Center says parents should vaccinate a few weeks before school starts.
My hospital, we had no cases in 2023, 13 in 2024, and already this year we've had 27.
CDC data shows a 6-fold increase in 2024, with many children missing key vaccines. St. Louis is ending its minority and women-owned business goals for construction contracts. Mayor Kara Spencer says new federal rules ban promoting diversity, equity, and inclusion. And Lawrence Taylor says he doesn't know why he was picked for President Trump's Youth Fitness Council. The ex-NFL star, a registered sex offender, joined the White House event, sparking backlash over his past and President Trump's decision to include him. Get BIN News Now on demand 24/7 on the iHeartRadio app.
Is your concrete cracking? Is your uneven walkway dangerous? Do you need to level that concrete porch or patio? Contact Groundworks, the concrete lifting experts. Riverside, get your free inspection today. Learn more at groundworks.com.
This is the KBLA Sports Minute with Ray Richardson.
Just in case Lakers fans were wondering, LeBron James did reach out to Luka Doncic to congratulate him on his contract extension. LeBron did a video call with Doncic while Doncic was signing a new 3-year deal for $165 million. LeBron and Luka will get a chance to play an entire season together. The Lakers were 16-7 last season when LeBron and Luka were on the court. Chargers linebacker Denzel Perryman is out of jail after spending the weekend locked up for having 5 guns in his car, including 2 assault-style rifles. The 32-year-old Perryman was released late Monday afternoon. Perryman was stopped by Inglewood police on Friday for having expired tags on his car. He was scheduled to appear at the Inglewood courthouse Tuesday morning, but LA County District Attorney Nathan Hochman decided not to file charges. No debates, no speculation, just the info you need. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson. More news, opinions, and conversation when we come forward on KBLA Talk 1580.
Become a U.S. citizen with the help of the Los Angeles Public Library. Get free and confidential information on immigration and citizenship. Visit lapl.org/NAI to find your nearest library or call us at 213-228-7390. That's lapl.org/NAI or 213-228-7390 and start your path to becoming a U.S. citizen with the help of the Los Angeles Public Library. Call 213-228-7390 or visit lapl.org/NAI.
Your child is 18. and suddenly you no longer have legal access to their medical info, even in an emergency. No health decisions, no financial help, nothing, unless you plan ahead. That's why Trust and Will created the Young Adult Plan. It includes HIPAA authorization, healthcare directives, and power of attorney. Everything your child needs to stay protected and stay connected. Go to trustandwill.com and get your Young Adult Plan for just $69, because turning 18 shouldn't mean cutting parents out of the picture. Trust and Will is an online estate planning service. See website for details.
Trust and Will.
Some things can steal your sunshine.
Ugh, I just got my hair done.
Sorry, the cooler's broken. Anyone see my flip-flops? Anyone?
But COVID-19 can steal a lot more.
I just took a COVID test. Ugh.
Prescription medications for COVID exist. If you test positive this summer, ask your doctor if they're right for you. Visit PfizerForAll.com/COVID-19 to learn more. Sponsored by
The following
Pfizer.
is a paid advertisement by Family Vacation Getaways with the purpose of soliciting sales of vacation ownership. For complete details, please visit fvgradio.com. If you want a 100% complimentary stay at a luxury resort in Cancun, airfare not included, then Family Vacation Getaways is your ticket to paradise. See website for complete details. We're giving away 5 days and 4 nights to the first 50 callers who can name an animal that lays eggs and is not a bird. An animal that lays eggs and is not a bird. Do you know it? Call now, 800-868-6431, 800-868-6431. You're also eligible for an exciting bonus vacation to Orlando, Florida for just $498. And don't worry about anything ruining your plans. We can extend your travel up to 18 months. Name an animal that lays eggs and is not a bird, and get a complimentary Cancun resort stay and an optional bonus vacation to Orlando for just $498. What are you waiting for? Call 800-868-6431, 800-868-6431, and give us your answer. The proceeding is not a contest and is a paid advertisement by Family Vacation Getaways, and not sponsored by this program or its affiliates.
Are you wet shaving? You'll get razor bumps.
Nah, Pops, I'm good with Gillette Skin Guard. How long you been growing that beard Mama hates anyway?
Since 77. I shaved and got ingrown so bad.
That's why I use the Gillette Skin Guard razor, face scrub, shave gel, and moisturizer, so I don't have to worry about new razor bumps or shaving irritation.
Gillette Skin Guard, huh? Your mama's gonna love this one.
The best a man can get keeps getting better with Gillette Skin Guard. Buy now at a retailer near you.
Thanks for waking up with Dominique DiPrima on KBLA Talk 1580.
Yeah, I appreciate you. I really, really do. And I invite you. 800-920-1580. 800-920-1580 is the number to call. So some folks in the chat agreeing with me about how we really haven't done that much to help students young people, children, students, young adults who went through the pandemic. And I would say anybody, but I do think it's telling, this survey that came out for the LAUSD by Great Public Schools Now, which is a nonprofit organization. This year, 40% of the parents who responded said their top priority was more mental health support for their children, their students in school. So what does that mean? Parents are seeing something, they're telling you something. And I think when we look at COVID, which for young people probably seemed like 100 years of lockdown and no normal life and no social emotional skills. So you got that, followed by fires, where children are losing their homes, watching other people losing their homes, where the normalcy of school and regular life is gone, and it feels really scary. And, you know, in between there, you have the election, which for some of our children was also traumatic. If your child is gay, probably progressive, a girl thinking about maybe having sex one day. I mean, for any number of reasons, that is also traumatic, right? And then you add on to that these ICE raids, whether you're a migrant or not, the militarization of our streets, and the idea that some federal agents might bust into your school and drag some kids out. Those are multiple very traumatic events back to back to back. And so I agree, and I've been agreeing since my child was still in high school. Now he's in college. And I still think those young college students need that support, by the way. And for what I'm hearing from every single teacher, and I know a lot of teachers, I do, for many reasons. I know a lot of teachers, whether they're in elementary, high school, or at the college level, they are saying kids have not bounced back. And now you've got 40% of LAUSD students, and LAUSD is massive. So, over 500,000 students. So if that many parents are saying this is a priority, this is a priority. And we see it, on the streets with the unhoused population. You see it with these, crazy road rage and club incidents. That unauthorized club I was talking about, 2 people died. That's crazy. And again, I put this in the context that violence is down. Let's not get caught up in smash and grab mentality. Think about this. How many smash and grabs have you seen on the news since the election was over? You don't see it every day like you used to. You think it stopped happening? LOL. No. If it bleeds, it leads. If they get the video clip, they're going to play it. Just like on Instagram, just like on Twitter, just like on TikTok. If it's a hot video clip, they're going to play it over and over and over and over until you think it's a million video clips, but it's really the same one playing over and over again, until you think it's an epidemic when it's really not an epidemic. It's a news-edemic. So that's why on a Talking Point Tuesday, I want to be mindful about this. But the fact that, to me, these are indications that people are not okay. They need some extra help. And ignoring that is something I believe we do at our own peril. And this is a crazy story, but these financial pressures add to that, right? And here's what we're starting to see, and it's barely starting to happen. It's going to be ramping up in the next couple months. Those student loan payments coming back, right? People that had amnesty under one or another program, or that they had a pause in their student loan while the courts decided whether Joe Biden's loan forgiveness programs were going to stand up to challenges by these Republicans who were trying to stop you from getting student loan relief. Well, those payments are starting to go up. Even if you were still paying, but you were paying under a program that made you have a lower amount every month, those are going up. Most of those programs are being trashed by this administration. And that, along with prices and going up because of the tariffs, is putting a lot of pressure on people. But the Intercept reports, and this is real crazy, that the one group of people who's still eligible for student loan forgiveness is, wait for it, ICE agents. You can't make this stuff up. The Department of Homeland Security announced last week it's going to offer student loan forgiveness and repayment options to new recruits to Immigration and Customs Enforcement, along with a $50,000 signing bonus. So if you're willing to go terrorize people and be a masked man or woman, they'll give you 50 G's and forgive your student loan. Make it make sense. Teachers don't get that. Even regular cops don't get that. But ICE agents, cover your face, act like you're in a Central American death squad, kidnap people in vans, and you too can get your student loan forgiven. The irony of that, while they're taking the student loan forgiveness away from other hardworking Americans, many of whom have been paying off on those loans for years and years and years, and were getting forgiveness under one of many different programs. For example, people who had student loans who work for nonprofit organizations that help the government have a program called PSLF, where they have student loan forgiveness. But nope, not anymore. According to the Trump executive order, called exactly the opposite of what it actually is. It's called It's called Restoring Public Service Loan Forgiveness. This is one thing that I love that Republicans do. They name bills the exact opposite of what they actually are or do, and then people go, oh, and they vote for it. They don't read the fine print. So, according to the so-called executive order of restoring public service loan forgiveness, Trump says that the program has misdirected tax dollars into activist organizations that fail the public interest and harm our national security. So, in other words, these nonprofits that have been tasked with helping the government do any number of other things, which were asked to do so by the government, are now targeted as too woke, and so those student loan forgiveness programs are being canceled. We're talking about nonprofits that give legal assistance to refugees, undocumented migrants, nonprofits that help LGBTQ plus youth, etc., etc. This is apparently a work in motion, so it's not too late to call and yell at your elected official or the president. But where on the list of things we're contacting our electeds does this go? I would put the stop the gerrymandering maybe higher on the list, because if Republicans take permanent control of the House of Representatives, they already have the Supreme Court for the next rest of your life and mine. It's going to be hard to move anything. It's going to be hard to fix anything that this president has done. If they create a permanent majority for themselves in an anti-democratic way in the House of Representatives, it makes it almost impossible to fix the mess. Even if you elect a different president and take the Senate, if places like Texas pull this move where they now have more permanent Republican seats, well, then you've got a president in there who can't do anything because he doesn't have two houses of Congress, and the Supreme Court, the extreme court, which is, reminds me of George Foreman. He named all of his kids George. You name all the Supreme Court justices Donald, and Ketanji. Donald, and Ketanji. Yeah, you could say I should have said Sonia. But the last couple votes, give me pause. Point is, I think that we have to support the governor of California on this, because this may be irreparable. If we allow Republicans to gerrymander their way to permanent dominance or long-term dominance in the House of Republicans. It will be the House of Republicans, not representatives. And they've already thrown those bows and done a few illegal moves to take control of the Supreme Court. We're cooked. We're cooked as far as fixing any of this Project 2025, et cetera madness. So I think this is an important pressure point, and one where we may have to step up, stop clutching our pearls, trying to take the high road. When they go low, we meet them where they are and beat their butts. How about that? Sorry, Michelle Obama. 800-920-1580. That's the number to call if you want to join the convo. I'm Dominique DiPrima for KBLA Talk 1580.
KBLA Talk 1580 is an intervention. When we come forward, includes you. KBLA Talk 1580, turning pain into power.
You have cancer. The 3 words no one wants to hear. Of the cancers that impact our community, lung cancer is the most dangerous. More people succumb to lung cancer than colon, breast, and prostate combined. Black men are 12% more likely to develop lung cancer, and cases for black women are rising. Early detection and comprehensive treatment is the best way to beat this dreaded disease. Providence is a research leader in multi-cancer early detection, offering blood tests that identify fast-spreading cancers that don't show symptoms in early stages. The Providence Los Angeles Integrated Network Cancer Program determines best protocols for each patient, interacting with specialists who share experiences, perspectives, and new findings specific to each case. With over 1,000 board-certified physicians, including top oncologists, surgeons, radiologists, and nurse specialists, Providence delivers whole-person care that understands your culture, values, preferences, and priorities. So, if you hear the words, "you have cancer," all you need is faith and providence.org/cancer.
Hear that? That's the sound of your life. Perfectly imperfect. Beating in rhythm to the world you've created. But every time you drive after drinking, the music gets drowned out. Your life sounds pretty great. Don't let a buzz ruin it. Buzz driving is drunk driving. Don't drive buzzed. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Nearly 7 million Americans aged 65 and older are living with Alzheimer's disease, or AD. But did you know that black adults aged 65 and older are twice as likely as white adults to develop AD? You may be able to reduce your risk by managing conditions like diabetes and high blood pressure, being physically active, eating healthy, and exercising your mind. To learn more about AD, the importance of early diagnosis and intervention, and a potential treatment option, visit treatalzearly.com. That's treatalzearly.com. This message is brought to you by AZI.
This is KBLA Talk 1580, where everybody is somebody and nobody is a stranger. You belong here.
Yes, you do. You can sit with us every day, 800-920-1580, with me, with Miles, with Tavis. Tavis Smiley, of course, comes on after me every day. And what a lineup we have around here. Great conversation, and you are part of our delegation. 800-920-1580 if you want to say a thing. Let's go to Carl calling us from Los Angeles. Good morning, Carl.
Hey, good morning, Sister Dominique. How you doing?
I'm blessed. What's on your mind?
All right, yeah, Miles threw a word at me this morning. Amazing. Man, it went over my head and went off. I was like, wow.
You asked Miles how he was, and he said amazing, right?
Yeah, wow. I told him I'm going to use that. I'm going to have to. Wow. Hey, look, Kamala Harris, Dominique, she was on the show over the weekend, and she said she don't want to get back into politics because things are so messed up. I mean, how was she really describing it? That's messed up that she don't want to run for governor, or she don't want to tell nobody she wants to become president of the United States in 2028. You know what I'm saying? She said everything is so screwed up, jacked up. Where are we going with this? I'm hearing your show talking about Governor Gavin Newsom's proposal for redistricting and all of this type of stuff, and the politicians are they putting a warrant out for their arrest if they don't show up. What's going on with this?
Well, okay, so I feel like she was talking about the way our politics are right now, so polarized. But she did not say, Kamala Harris did not say that she wouldn't run for president. She left the door open for that. She did say she wasn't running for governor. And one of the points she made in that interview, with Stephen Colbert, which I felt so deeply resonated with me, she said that she predicted a lot of the stuff we're seeing now, what Trump is doing. But what she did not predict, and I didn't predict either, was people complying, with people being complicit, rolling over, bending over, giving up, surrendering preemptively. I didn't foresee that either. I expected people to stand up for our democracy, for their rights, and that hasn't been the case. And I think that's the other thing she was talking about.
Well, I don't see some of these big-time organizations, black organizations, letting anybody in down here at the bottom where I'm at. It seems like they're stopping people from climbing the ladder. I mean, you know, if I just go out and just try to do my own thing, then people call me selfish. But, you know, shouldn't the NAACP and all these other urban leagues, let's people from the bottom come up in there and shake
Well,
up a
okay,
little
so
something.
what would that look like? Because I know, like, it depends. Every city has their own NAACP branch. They all have different leadership. And they all have different priorities based on what their leadership and their members have decided. So, and same with the Urban League. LA Urban League has programs to help people come up from the bottom. They have job training. They have different kinds of help that you can get for your resume and job placement and such as that. So beyond that, what are you talking about, Carl? Like, what would you like to see?
Yeah, well, I went over to the Urban League one day when they was back over on Vernon. I think that was on Vernon and Crenshaw over there, and Mount something over there, and they just shined me on like I was nothing. And most of these black, I don't want to get into these pimps in the pulpit.
I'm not going to say that we don't have snobbery, elitism, and some people who are insincere in these organizations, but they're also doing a lot of good work. So I would find a branch. I would find a branch that's not full of crap and join it. Are you a member of the NAACP?
No, I'm not.
Are you a member of the Urban League?
No, I'm not.
Black Lives Matter?
No, I'm not.
Are you
I just be out here doing my thing?
I understand, but what I'm saying to you,
somebody, it seems like they shine me off.
Okay, well, maybe becoming a member might help that for one thing. I mean, I'm not letting them off the hook either, Carl, but one of the things we can do is join an organization and then, hey, I'm a member of the LA Urban League, so I need some help here. And if that office on Mount Vernon, which isn't there anymore on Vernon, not Mount Vernon, because they lost that building, which was a terrible, terrible episode in our history. But they still have offices all over Southern California. I'd go to a different office and talk to a different person, not just give up because you met one person with the attitude. Look, I'm not a member of the NAACP either, but what I'm saying is if you want more responsiveness from an organization, joining it is one way to go. Join the community coalition, join the Urban League, join the NAACP, Black Lives Matter grassroots. Get you, especially right now with the stuff that's going on in our country, get you some backup.
Well, I'm going to still try to do my thing the best I can. Enjoy, Dominique. Bye.
You can do both, Carl. You can still do your own thing and be a member of an organization. They're not going to control your life. I don't think so. All right, let's go to Big Phil calling us from L.A. Hi, Big Phil.
Good morning, Devil. Don't sleep. That brother got a good point. I'm my own member. I'm doing my own thing, okay?
So you will never join an organization. You joining an organization doesn't mean you can't do your own thing.
Well, hold it, but I will help somebody get where they got to go. Let me sum it up real quick about Kamala Harris. You guys missed the whole picture. That is a very stressful job she put herself in. When it come down about voting for a black president, them and the white ladies talking about they going to vote for Donald, they're not going to vote for Donald Trump. And as soon as you get up there, they turn their back on Kamala Harris. But I think she listened to Willie Brown when he said that message that she's not fit for governor, which is that was her teacher. Willie used to date her years ago. Did you know that?
I did, yes.
Yeah, and he's 91 years old. He's one of the most powerful men at that time in Sacramento. One of the most
he was the Speaker of the California Assembly longer than anyone in history, and they changed the rules because of Willie Brown. He was the mayor of San Francisco. He's brilliant. Have you ever read his book, Basic Brown? It's like so enlightening.
That's her teacher, okay? I think to me, go ahead right off in the sunset and enjoy the rest of your life. That's a stressful job. But I love you guys. I got to go. I'm going to win. Big Phil, I'm out.
So you don't think she's going to run for president, huh? I'm not convinced. I'm not convinced that she won't. Andre Parvenu says in the chat, I regret having to say this, but as a founding California State Redistricting Commissioner, I agree with Governor Newsom's strategy to gerrymander the state's districts in response to Texas. Yeah, that's interesting because that was a lot of work that they put in on those commissions. And that was the people we voted to take the district lines on the state level away from politicians and give it to the people. And I still believe in that. I think that, LA needs to do that. But right now we're talking about responding to an emergency situation where Republicans are angling to take over the government, the Congress, one chamber of Congress, which is the House of Representatives, which means you can't pass anything because you need the Senate and the House to make a law. And if they do that, they will have a permanent majority for a long time unless we do something. And I'm tired of Democrats bringing a knife to a gunfight. Tired of it. Tired of them being little wusses who run away from the bold progressive ideas of the energized wing of their party, which is the progressive wing, which is where most of the people of color are, where most of the smart people are, where the new ideas are, where the young people are, where the energy is. Stop being punks. Stop running away from your strongest suit. Your young people. Your energized progressives. And Andre Parvenu goes on in the chat to say it's over 10 years of work on that redistricting. So I'm not saying this lightly, and I do think it should land there. It should be an independent commission that does our lines for voting. It should revert to that. This is a temporary measure that we need to do so we don't become servants of smaller states that should not have more clout than they have proportionately. And if you look at the number of votes, I saw some data on this, just raw votes. Republicans have done a better job of gerrymandering than Dems because our votes are more diluted and they elect way more people with way fewer votes because of their funny style maps. We can't just sit back and let this happen. Being joined by Fatima Iqbal-Zubair. When we come forward, hope you'll stay with me on KBLA Talk 1580.
KBLA 1580 Santa Monica.
I'm Bree Wood with BIN News Now. Whooping cough cases are rising as kids head back to school. Dr. Dave Weber of the University of North Carolina Medical Center says parents should vaccinate a few weeks before school starts.
My hospital, we had no cases in 2023, 13 in 2024, and already this year we've had 27.
CDC data shows a six-fold increase in 2024, with many children missing key vaccines. St. Louis is ending its minority and women-owned business goals for construction contracts. Mayor Kara Spencer says new federal rules ban promoting diversity, equity, and inclusion. And Lawrence Taylor says he doesn't know why he was picked for President Trump's Youth Fitness Council. The ex-NFL star, a registered sex offender, joined the White House event, sparking backlash over his past and President Trump's decision to include him. Get BIN News Now on demand 24/7 on the iHeartRadio app.
Is your concrete cracking? Is your uneven walkway dangerous? Do you need to level that concrete porch or patio? Contact Groundworks, the concrete lifting experts. Riverside, get your free inspection today. Learn more at groundworks.com.
This is the KBLA Sports Minute with Ray Richardson.
Just in case Lakers fans were wondering, LeBron James did reach out to Luka Doncic to congratulate him on his contract extension. LeBron did a video call with Doncic while Doncic was signing a new 3-year deal for $165 million. LeBron and Luka would get a chance to play an entire season together. The Lakers were 16-7 last season when LeBron and Luka were on the court. Chargers linebacker Denzel Perryman is out of jail after spending the weekend locked up for having 5 guns in his car, including 2